Okay, I'm going to show you how to do a quick dry belt change on a 2024-2025 Badboy Rogue. I've had this thing for only about 3 hours and the dry belt already broke. The belts do have a 90-day warranty, but I didn't want to wait for shipment, so I went down. Actually, I ordered off of Amazon this belt here, which is supposed to be the same dimensions, and I went ahead and installed it. So I just want to show you real quickly how to do that. If you can jack this machine up, that's the best bet, but you will need a couple crescent wrenches and a 14mm ratchet. So we crawl underneath here. First thing you're going to do is pop off this deck belt, and you just pull down and roll this around, and it pops right off. So super easy. The next thing you want to do is disconnect that spring right there, that idler tensioner spring. And you'll see two nuts. You want to remove the outer nut, leave the other nut alone. That'll kind of tell you how far to tighten it down when you put it back together to keep consistent tension on the belt. Once that's dropped down, this belt is down. The next thing you're going to do, which is the most challenging part, is you need to get the new belt around or against the frame and that idler pulley. So the new belt has to squeeze in between the frame and the idler pulley. One way I did that was I took a crescent wrench and started the belt. I started the belt flattened the belt, slid it underneath there until it hit the little piece sticking up in the middle of that pulley. And then I took a crescent wrench and gently put it between the frame and the pulley and gently gave it a little pressure to squeeze it away from the frame. And then that belt slips right on around. Once you do that, the next step is you want to put the new belt around the main idler pulley, and then you feed it around both hydraulic pump pulleys, this one and the one across, and you can kind of see how the belt lays back against the idler tensioner pulley. You can see how that goes. Once you do that, you take that spring with a little bit of pressure and you can squeeze it in there and start the nut, and then tighten that back down to where it needs to be. They do make a tool where you can check the tension of your belts. I don't have that tool. So what I did was I went ahead and tightened it down just a little bit firmer than what it was originally. But there's still plenty of tension. Once you get that new dry belt on, the next step is to put your brackets back on. So obviously make sure that bracket is back on with the two 14mm nuts, and then slide your deck belt back on. It went on there fairly easy. You want to make sure it stays on the pulleys in the front, so make sure you check the pulleys to make sure it still spins. It still spins easily on the pulleys in the front, and then you're all set after that.